you know, so many people so often focus on kind of those two P's, right? You know, what's the political makeup there with General Assembly? You know, how many D's do you have? How many R's do you have? You know, you kind of do the math, and you know, and you kind of weigh odds in terms of if it's going to be successful or not. The other P is, you know, policy wonks. You know, folks who put it together, put the language together, and so, you know, there in Raleigh, you kind of get, you know, not going to, you know, kind of be of your own world, politics and politicians and policymakers. All too often, ladies and gentlemen, that other P that I think is out of the equation. And that's why, you know, measures like this and meetings like this is important. And it's parents. It's parents.
Just to further clarify, the initial eligibility, they need to have the IEP. Once they move, private school, homeschool, they might have some sort of educational plan, but it's not going to be that legal IEP document, okay? 3 years go by. In order to continue to qualify for that tax credit, the school, public school system needs to reassess whether that disability is present and whether they would qualify for an IEP. The funds that go into the special education fund, partly paid for through the disenrollment of children, pay for that process.
Well, I mean, after he qualifies and is in a private school and comes up for the reevaluation to stay in compliance, you don't want to go past that 3-year date without having been reevaluated.
I would recommend that anyone give the schools, I would say give 6 months notice. I'm not saying it would take 6 months, but best practice would be give that time frame. Just as when we're doing a reevaluation, we tell all of our staff to start those reevaluations early to give time, because there may be observations. It depends on the type of evaluations that are necessary. That would be very individualized as far as the time frame for that. But if I had to pick a time frame, I would say give us 6 months. You should know that. You know that's coming up. That way, that also gives you time to speak to your tax professional or whomever you need to speak to about that. Just best practice, don't wait.
So in the IEP laws, which are extensive, there are different definitions. Some we've been talking about related services. There's also different equipment kinds of things. And so the IEP should have a place for identifying related services, equipment, and other things that you need. And if your child's not getting what you need, I completely agree with the comments made earlier that this is the point of that lengthy set of laws is to give you a chance to say that I need other things for my child, and the expense of a piece of equipment, generally speaking, is not a reason not to provide it if it's necessary to connect to that IEP.
If you want advice that you can rely on and take to the bank, it needs to be in writing, and we will respond in writing. We are certainly happy to talk with taxpayers on the phone and to give verbal advice, but the problem with that is you may hear something differently than what we said,
Right.
and it kind of end up in a he said, she said kind of situation. So I do recommend that if you want something to rely on, that you write to the department requesting a specific private ruling.
You all have asked great questions. You all asked great questions, and just want to make sure that for those who may not have got the answer that they would have liked, don't keep it there. I strongly recommend, Jennifer mentioned advocacy on a number of occasions. This is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. And I can tell you, the way we got here was because of parents making their case known. And so I strongly recommend that for those of you, before you leave out, please get our information, and when you get 10, 15 minutes, shoot us your questions, your frustrations, send it to us, please. And we're there in Raleigh, and we want to have that connect with. I also ask you to connect with us put it on our website, we want to keep you up to date on what's going on, but we need to hear from you, and we want you to hear from us, so together we can make things better here.